Welcome everyone. In this video, GMS art teacher Amy Robinson is going to show us how she uses the Google Assignments LTI in Canvas to create interactive and engaging assignments for her students. If you'd like to learn more about Google Assignments LTI for Canvas, click the link right here to watch the video that explains a little bit more about that process. Let's go ahead and listen to what Amy has to say.
So, hey Amy, how are you?
Hey CJ, great. How are you today?
Good. I know you've been using the new Google Assignments LTI quite a bit with students, so maybe just like a 30-second or minute overview of how you use that, and then we'll take a look at your screen and see an example of that.
Okay, so the way I use the Google LTI is to just assign students work on slides. So I create a presentation and assignments on slides, and then I share that out with students. And in my class, I kind of have a rule that they can't just turn something in and not get a good grade on it. So especially with virtual, they have to get either a C or better on anything to progress to the next assignment. And before they can do any hands-on things in art, they have to have completed all of my digital assignments. And then when they come and they're here in person, if they've done all that, then they can work on the hands-on stuff.
Excellent. That sounds great.
Good. It was worked out great because with the LTI, it's really easy to interact with the kids as opposed to the previous model where they would turn something in and you can make comments. With what I'm doing, it's really nice to be able to go back into the slides to their slide and actually make changes on the slide and then comment. So I try to trigger them with a comment such as, if they do well, great job, perfect. Or if they don't do so well, I'll say, hey, go back and check slides 5, 6, and 7, or read the instructions on slide 8. And then on that slide, I'll put some kind of visual cue or little hint on there for them to go back and fix.
Great, that's fantastic. And this has worked pretty well for you, I assume, because I know you have a number of assignments that are using this technology.
Yeah, I'm doing it all that way, actually, except for the hands-on. So any preparatory materials that I want to give out to them that previously would have been worksheets or activities, warm-ups in class, it's now just totally on the LTI platform.
So it sounds like you more or less have a paperless classroom until the students get to the actual physical art projects.
Absolutely, completely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent. Would you mind sharing your screen and showing us a little bit of that?
Okay, sure. Here we go. So I'm going to, let's see. I assume that's working. Is that correct?
Yes, it is. Okay. I can see your screen.
Okay, so this is just an example of my silly, remember this is middle school, so, 6th grade. One thing I've learned with this is that students don't always seem to know where the presentation ends because on their device, like if you look down here, sometimes they're tempted to think that that's the last slide, like slide 7 is the last slide, because they are not, like, of course, wanting more work. So they don't look for more work. So I've kind of trained them in my class that the first slide and the last slide are blue so that they know that they've started and ended. So on the first slide, I always give them some kind of overview and tell them exactly where the work is going to be and how much it's worth. And then it kind of hops in here. So what I like to do on mine is I never know, of course, none of us do, whether kids are going to be in class or whether they're going to be at home. So I just do the whole lesson overview on these slides. But what I like to also do, I embed these little Loom videos up here. Okay. So if kids are having trouble reading or they just don't like to read or they don't have great comprehension, they could listen to me do the presentation, essentially reading it to them on Loom. And then the next thing I like to do are these little, I call this the big brain guy. So big brain, you can't see it, I don't think, I'm not sure if you can see under here, but there's a link under here where if a kid wants to know more, they could click on that little link. And that takes them either to a World Book Online article or to I like the Google Art Project for this. So that'll take them to a page about either the artist or the artwork there.
Great, got a lot of hyperlinks there. I mean, a really true hyperdoc there.
Yeah, I try to. And then it just kind of goes on this way. And there's another one under here for the link, I think. So all of this would be read to them. If they clicked that first link, they could just kind of follow along. And then every assignment has some kind of interactive
Okay.
component to it. So
Yep.
on this one, they would just drag and drop these into the proper place as a review.
Excellent.
And then I try to also integrate some kind of drawing thing, because you can do so much digital art with Google Slides. It's kind of incredible. So here, I've also trained them that wherever there's a red box, that's something that they need to do. So red box means activity. So they see this red box and they read this and they know that they need to trace over lines on the painting that would show movement. And again, like I've got a link here. So if they really don't know what I'm talking about, they can watch me do it. And that's another Loom video up here. And then I don't know if you want me to show you the whole like drawing on here, but I mean, that's really very simple. I mean, just use the line tool, select the curved line, and then they can go on here and draw their line. And then I
That's
like
great.
to have it so that they do it in red so I can see it better, and make it a little bit wider pixel. So then I can test the concept, that they
Mhm.
understand like what the movement line is in the painting.
This is great. I mean, you've got the visual cues there. You've got the hyperdoc. You've got them doing work on the Google slide. This is fantastic.
And then I try to do something funny at the end just to kind of reward them for that. But then let's say that they mess this up, like, because they do, right? Like, and
Yeah.
that's not in the right place. Then I have another just collection of digital stickers that I give them. So like if that was wrong, I just kind of keep this on my clipboard. Excuse me. Oops, sorry, did that wrong. So copy that, and then I just have this, and I go back in here, and I can say like, oh, no, that one's wrong, or I can just kind of click over, and if I want to say like, oh yeah, you got that right. So then the next time after they fix that, I could just kind of go back in and give them a thumbs up for that. So I really like the sticker thing, because it does just, even if they don't, so as you can see, like even if they don't open the whole presentation, they can go down there and see, like if I was up on this slide, it'd be easy for them to see like, oh, the red X is down here on slide
Yeah.
7. So I think it's just a little bit easier for them to follow, if that makes sense.
Oh, that's great. I love the stickers. I assume you created those with your Bitmoji
I did,
mostly.
yeah, most of them. I mean, some of them I just pulled off of, online, like Mr. Big Brain here, I just found. And then the X's, I just got online. But
Off a
yep, and
search.
so
Yeah.
I love the art ones, I wish there was
Sure.
more of those. So we
Yeah.
got extreme, we got persistence of memory.
Those are fun.
Yeah, those are kind of fun. So
What
anyway,
ideas, or
yeah.
so let's say there's somebody who sees this video and they want to implement what you're doing, because I think you've got some great ideas there. What would you suggest to them? What would be one or two recommendations for someone starting off that, if you were starting off again, would make your journey a little bit easier? Although it looks like you've gone very far on the journey, but I'm sure it was a little bit more difficult in the beginning.
I think, oh boy, that I don't have a ready answer for you. But I think just trying to listen to the kids, honestly, and seeing what mistakes they're making, and then trying to pivot from those mistakes. Because when this whole thing started, I mean, I'm kind of embarrassed to say that I kind of had the opinion the kids just don't want to do it, or they're being obstinate, or, they're just being slackers or something. But as I got farther into it, I realized, and probably too late, honestly, that it's not that they don't want to do it, they really didn't know how.
Yeah.
And even though teaching middle school, these kids are older, and you think that they're technologically, savvy, they really aren't. And they could be, obviously, and they are when they have the motivation, but they're kids, and so they don't have a great deal of motivation to want to figure out technology, because they would rather use that as an excuse not to do something. Um, So I think just making it super easy for them and just trying to follow their lead a little bit and looking for patterns of errors and asking them, so like, why didn't you do that? Well, I don't understand. Like, what happened? And they pretty readily say, like, yeah, I just didn't know how, you know. It's not that I didn't want to, I didn't know how. And and I think that it's legitimate. So then I kind of inserted the Loom videos to actually show them things that seem pretty easy, but you know, they didn't know how. And the good thing about Loom is that it'll tell you when people have watched the video. And that's very instructive too.
Yeah.
So when I go back to my Loom videos and I see, oh, that one's been watched, 49 times, then I know, well, that's something I need to work on more when I see the kids in class. Whereas if only one person has watched it, then I figure, I mean, I'm still going to do it, but then I know, like, okay, I covered that pretty well, because not a lot of kids needed that scaffolding, and they still did well on the assignment.
Okay. That's great. Yeah, I love that. Giving them the cues, making the path easier for them. That's certainly going to
Uh-huh.
help in all aspects of that in terms of completing the assignment. So thank you for your time. Thank you for showing us what you're doing. I love the impact that you're having with the students and how you're embracing the technology. And
Well, good luck, CJ.
keep up the great work.
Thank you for all you do. You've really, helped us get through these stormy seas of the
Oh,
last,
we're
going on a year now.
almost a year now. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
welcome.
All right. Thanks, CJ.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks again to Amy for demonstrating a great way to use the Google Assignments LTI. Again, if you're interested in learning more about how to integrate Google Assignments LTI within your Canvas course, check out the link right here. Have a great day.